How are we doing this morning, gamers? Happy Tuesday. Oh, it was 50 degrees here yesterday. Maybe we're almost out of space heater weather, huh? That would be nice. Got some boosties to open. We had a full art Vulcaner yesterday. Might have to pack point a second one to match here eventually. Running hot. What a wonderful way to start the day. I was missing a second flare. I was missing a flare on my second Dialga. That's nice. Okay, that gives me fully flared immersors from these packs. And fully flared Palkias. Some really solid last week of packs, huh? My Shamans are already flared, but it's a wonderful piece of art. Got 17,000 cards exactly? Sure was, gamers. Allow me to sing you the song of my people. Matchy. Nice. Matching one of those. Lovely, lovely. I forgot I had two Crowders on this. Obvious answer is we should pull enough to flare it, huh? Casual 90,000 Stardust needed. Is that the only? I think that's the only crowd I have two of. Yeah. I have all of them so far. No, do I? I'm missing, is there a crowd Celebi? There's a crowd Celebi, right? So I'm missing that one? Never getting that one. We're done opening. No, wait, Mew is the Mythical Island one, yeah? It's actually interesting, because the reason why my brain went to Celebi is this is the only pack we've had so far that the immersive wasn't the crown, yeah? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, oh, I have Celebi immersive, I don't have Celebi crowd rare. But yeah, this is the only one of these. All of these other ones are the immersive is also the crown, but this pack they split it. Play some Blastoise to start this morning. Try this configuration. Infernflow, sorry, thanks for the couple of resubs this morning, by the way. I will switch those. Lanky Llama, thank you for the 22 months. And Infernflow coming in hot for over 6 years. It's a long time, gamer. This is such an unlucky start. JK, but I didn't want to play anyways. I say we have 7 basics, and only one of them has a retreat cost of 2, and the odds of getting just that one without having another basic is real low. It's weird that people auto-retreat in the random queue. Because if you need to clear dailies, why wouldn't you just open packs and do your wonder pick? Oh, speaking of, I should check my wonder picks for 2 stars real quick. Not that those ever show up, but I could dream. Shop tickets. Do people send thanks when you auto concede the game on one? I never send a thanks when they waste my time and auto concede the game on one. Do you all at home? Is that normal? My poor little Manaphy chat. About to be brutally metal armed. When do they typically release the spoiler video for the next set? So typically the spoiler video for the next set is up like 4 to 5 days in advance, but this set being centered around Pokemon Day is going to be different, I would assume. There's a semi-populated queue, people using the code THANKS to speed farm battle thanks, I think. That makes sense. That's much better than, like, joining and leaving random queues for people, like, that actually want to play the game, yeah? Nose Pass Gaming. I think I saw, some YouTube nonsense about this card. Seems much worse than Wormdan. Oh, Misty. I'm gonna play to flip ahead next turn. We bricked down Misty, so we're due, yeah? It's a shame we don't have a Blastoise to build up to in the back. Silly stage 2 Pokemon variants. That'll do. It's getting to the point where I can't change the months into years in my head. Thanks for the over 7.5 years, Beetle. Yeah, after 72, they get a little hazy for me too. My pre-programmed responses haven't had enough. And I'm like, wait, that's how many? It's a what? Carry the where? We really needed a Misty Heads or an Ice Beam Heads here. I guess there's a world where this Palkia with the X speed buys enough time to bridge into Blastoise, but that's going to be susceptible to a... It's going to be susceptible to a copy of Sabrina here. So we're in an okay spot, assuming they don't have a way to force the game end this turn, but it took us so long to get the Squirtle, we are just dead to Sabrina. They can pull the Skarmory out, put the Registeel up, and force one of our backline in. Thanks for the tier 3 and everything else over the years, Beetle. It's been a trip. Hope life is going all right for you and yours. Alright, so Dead to Cyrus. Not that I'm bored, but Dead to Cyrus, Dead to Sabrina. Blastoise. We'll go War Turtle. We'll go X Speed, crack you for 40. We'll chill on this for now because on the off chance they don't have lethal, we might build a second Blastoise, especially if we top deck our other Misty. Our deck right now is Misty, Cyrus, Blastoise, and Articuno. I always forget Blastoise's 2 energy attack. Yeah, he's got a 2 energy attack, a 3 energy attack, and a 5 energy attack, which is nice. Does that matter? I'm not sure it does. We're gonna take 110 effectively down to 70, but 70 is not a breakpoint any of these other Dorkos. Come on, Misty. Bricked every coin this game, so sad. I'm gonna communication here because it means we're no longer dead to a copy of Sabrina. Still dead to Cyrus, though. I think we're just dead because of the Misty Bricks. So I'm gonna have to retreat this out, and then even if we spike the other Blastoise, I'm not gonna have time to build it up. I think I needed to be hitting for at least 40 this turn. A close game despite the bad variance. Tough matchup too. The Skarmory decks tend to chew up these Manaphy decks, which I think it's kind of a testament to how good Blastoise is that like we were that far in that game despite losing all 3 coin flips that happened. Like if we get extra turn with the Articuno or either of the Misties, we're in a position where we can actually play the game. Second, and we have a Manaphy. You love to see it. You just need to draw another basic. It's one of the reasons why I'm very adamant that you want 7 basics in your Manaphy deck, because it's so important that you have 3 basics in the games where you lead Manaphy. Hey, thanks for liking the stream, Melvir. Shout out to the 62 people that were here bright and early and tap the like button right away on the YouTube side. Everybody's having a wonderful start to your Tuesday. For those that are interested in keeping up with the schedule, we're going to do a few hours of Pokemon Pocket this morning, followed by a bunch of Snap. And then tomorrow, with Snap having a new game mode, we're going to do just Snap all day. Thursday morning's exciting, though. Thursday, we're going to co-stream the Pokemon Day live stream, where we'll get a bunch of information about all things Pokemon, but should also get info specifically about the new Pockets that I'd wager. And then Friday, if the data mines hold true, we'll have the new cards to play with. If the new card packs look good and sweet, I think we're gonna do a Saturday stream for Pocket this weekend as well. Is my plan. Any basic. Rip. I think I'm still just Oceanic gifting. I think there's a world here where I could X speed and crack them for 30, but this gets me ahead on energy next turn either way. I think gives me another chance to draw another basic. What? So there's 5 basics, 2 Pokeballs, 2 research. So I'm like 9 out of 14 to hit another basic next turn. Perfection. Even just, you know, we only got 1 energy off that first Manaphy activation, but this still let us filter 1 into 3, which is really solid. Prismatic Walrus, thank you for the primer. Appreciate it. Surely this is a baby turtle, yes? What a lovely turtle. Alright, since the RNG is taking requests, I would like a head on my ice beams. Unlucky. Appreciate the brand new primer, Walrus. Those direct supports are a big part of why content's able to be my job. Thanks for keeping me around. Deck building question. How do you balance wanting more basics for Manaphy targets and not wanting as many basics since you want to start with Manaphy? You balance it by playing basics like Articuno and Palkia that you don't mind starting on. Skillfully saving our heads for when they matter for the future here. So one of the reasons why I like this build is you don't mind leading on an Articuno and just having it take hits while you build up a Blastoise or something in the back. They must have top decked the Primate Pump. Even Palkia isn't a terrible lead a lot of the time. In fact, here we're gonna go ahead and slide that up to the active, and we'll let it take a crack for 50 while we build Blastoise in the back here. And then with them bricking on their stage 1 again here, we are at a checkmate situation, I'd imagine. You go ahead and we Hydro Bazooka this, and then the Hydro Bazooka for 100 is ready to crack their stage 1 should they hit it this turn. This is the deck I like the most that's closest to being competitive right now. Its breakpoints are solid. Its Executor matchup usually comes down to do they hit heads on their first egg or not into your Manaphy. The Skarmory matchup being challenging is the hard part for it. Your Manaphy dying in one, and you just can't fit Cape in with Blastoise, and Blastoise is just the best Manaphy payoff by a lot, in my opinion. All right, we need to take a brief pause for the cause, let some adverts roll. We're gonna play some more of this one when we get back. Appreciate everybody hanging out this morning. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna enjoy Arcane Rush. Hey, Topper. I actually, if you're not in the supporter Discord server, you should pop in there, and we've got a thread under Gaming General where we've been chatting. I hit gold 4 on Gorm this morning. I don't know that that's one we'll play too much more of on stream, non-sponsored, because the numbers for it aren't amazing in terms of content, but I agree, it's super fun. I play a draft or two almost every day off stream. Honestly, the best tip for Snap is just make sure you clear your dailies every day and play decks you enjoy. Snap's a genuinely very good game if you're not someone trying to chase the dragon right out the gate. Snap's one real pain point is that it's tough to get to like the meta decks that you'll see, or the things you'll see me playing on stream right away. But if you're happy building your own things and building your collection, the experience is pretty solid. There are... I tried to get into the tournament scene for Pocket, and oh boy, there's a lot of eggs in the tournament scene right now. There's a reason. There is a reason why I'm currently on a tournament playing hiatus. You're stuck in between an Executor and a Skarmory with a Darkrai in the middle punching you in the gut. It's a tough one. Oh, check Wonder Picks. Yeah, good show. I picked Snap Up in anticipation of their economy rework. I'm hoping they stick the landing with that. Fingers crossed. I can't say exactly what it is because I'm NDA'd for a little bit more. We're gonna have the full announcement on Thursday. But speaking of tournaments, we're gonna have prizing for the top 32 competitors for the upcoming Hoaglandia Spraggles tournament on March 8th when we return. And I've got 40 door prizes on top of that to give out past top 32 prizes. Yeah. Hopefully the metagame's sweet with our new card back. Fingers crossed. It should be a good event. Yeah, I think Marvel Snap's current metagame is really good. I like it. I like it a lot. We're going first, but we do have a Manaphy, so that's nice. Oh no! Cooked. Take your free win. Take your free win. I don't want to play anymore. My poor Manaphy's chat. We're having a lesson this morning in why, despite this being a deck I enjoy, it's just a little scuffed. The Skarmory's, the Voltorb's an off meta Skarmory to punish us. Jeff, I've been looking for a nice low pressure game to enjoy playing on mobile. Is Genshin easy to get into now, or would someone picking it up feel behind? So, one of the reasons why I really like Genshin Impact is that it is a single-player, story-driven, open-world RPG with literally no PvP components. So there's no social pressure or arena thing or other stuff where you're like, oh, I feel this compulsion to spend because I need to keep up with other people who have been playing longer or who have spent more money than me. They also, like, to compare them to, like, Marvel Snap or Raid Shadow Legends, like, they don't have constant flash deals. The only FOMO... No, you get to play the entire story and open world with all the puzzle mechanics and all the exploration without spending any money. They literally only monetize getting extra pulls on the characters you get out of loot boxes. And you get plenty of characters without spending money. It's just you have to spend money if you want absolutely every single one of them right when they come out. So it adds more like variety to the combat. What do you get for those characters? You don't unlock exclusive story content. So there's a very small amount of... Oh, we're gonna die if we don't draw Blastoise here. There's a very small amount of, like, end game areas that give nominal extra rewards each month that having a wider range of characters makes easier to get through. But by and large, you're not really locked out of anything. And if you want to just, like, explore the world and experience the story, you can do all that without spending any money. For people who haven't heard me talk about it before, I've been an end game Genshin Impact player for a while now. I've played it daily for a few years. I think a few years sounds right. Yeah, like end of 22, I think I started, like 2.5 years. All right, I'm gonna give Blastoise one more try this morning, but he's having a rough go of it. The other thing that Genshin does well, which honestly is kind of similar to Pocket, I appreciate this about Pocket, is there's not constantly a bunch of monetization in your face. Like, you could probably play the game for a good long time and not even realize how it's monetized unless you go looking for it. Like, there's a banner thing you can go seek out, but it's not like you log in and there's like 6 different flash deals that pop up in your face that encourage you to spend. Does someone like you still have story to go through? Yeah, it's a live service game, and there's rotating extra smaller story bits that pop in and out every one of their 6 weeks patch cycles, and they're perpetually adding more stuff too that's permanent. Like there's hundreds of hours of voiced content and even more of side quests that's not fully voiced and puzzle-based world quests. Think of it as like anime Breath of the Wild, where they add a new major area every year and then build on that major area even more over the course of that year. I think this is Articuno's a punching bag angle like we talked about earlier. And actually, I think the way this deck plays out, one of the reasons why Baby Articuno is nice in this deck as opposed to regular Articuno is Baby Articuno is only 1 knockout point. So we can let them clear Baby Articuno here, and then we can put Manaphy up, and Manaphy can get cleared, and then they're still only at 2 points, so then my EX can come up and finish it. So they'll clear this next turn. We'll put Manaphy up. We'll turn Manaphy's 1 energy into 2, and then Blastoise will be ready to go, yeah? There's a reason on 2 Articuno over 2 Palkia. Yeah, what we're kind of talking about here, right? You also almost never want to lead Palkia. You can lead Palkia in a pinch, but ideally you're starting on Articuno or Manaphy for a game like this to play out. And this going to 160 kinda doesn't matter, right? Because Big Boy Blue here with the Hydro Bazooka does 160. So we put Manaphy up here. Manaphy's gonna put energy here. They'll kill Manaphy, and then our boy Blue's ready to crack him in 1. The breakpoints on this card are so good in this metagame. 160 is just like perfect number. This is just like textbook how we draw it up for this deck. What? Excuse me, what? Okay, that's not reasonable, video gamers. That is completely and wholly unreasonable. Who plays copies of Blue? Never saw that card. Yeah, it's wild too, cause like do they have 2 capes and 2 potions on top of this card? No, I think cutting Misty from this deck is nonsense, and you absolutely should not do it. I don't think there's room for cape. I think any game cape would win you. You're gonna lose a bunch of others from not having your other cards that you cut for it. Misty isn't just a I win button in a deck like this. Misty is a I have a chance to begin with button. In your games where your opponent has first energy advantage, Misty lets you reflip that starting energy coin. Has so much value. That's fine. It looks like they're still just dead, despite having Blue and cape here. I tried a lot of iterations of this deck without Misty, and it's so good. Just getting 1 extra energy from Misty is so powerful in so many spots. Big boy. Speaking of Blue, our big boy Blue here. Getting to crunch them all down. Yeah, what was that copy of Blue doing previously? Man, maybe I just don't pay attention to it very often. But How long has it been that Twitch puts hype trains under a channel in their sidebar information? Has that always been a thing and I've just never noticed it? Been a long time. Wild. That's so predatory and obnoxious. For people who aren't familiar, a hype train on Twitch is basically a bunch of people have spent money in this channel, so we're gonna put up a bunch of flashing colors and lights to encourage other people to spend additional money. It's basically the equivalent of mobile game monetization, but on Twitch. Throws up like flashing colors and lights while it happens. And for reference, it's also a feature you can turn off on your channel, which is why you never see them happen on my channel. I appreciate the people who support directly and are in a position to do that, but something I always want to make sure is true is that if people are sending me money to support my content, it's money that they have to send as opposed to money that they're being fleeced out of by a predatory system. You see those stories of people who like, I spent $50,000 in credit card debt gifting subs on twitch.tv, and I would feel genuinely bad if someone supported my stuff in that type of manner. How many Leafs does this deck run? My deck or my opponent's? So my opponent's deck typically plays one copy of Leaf. We are not playing any Leafs in the deck I'm currently playing. I wonder if I was supposed to build up this Palkia to Blastoise as possible. I kind of want to build Blastoise, but I might be wrong. I might be right to just get this to 6 so it can Dimensional Storm for 2 goes in a row. Jay, thank you for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This game desperately needs a undo energy placement button. Opponent there accidentally attaching to their bench instead of their Registeel so they couldn't attack. And we've all been there. It's so easy to fat finger it. When Marvel Snap finally added the undo lock turn button so you could redo your things while your opponent was still making their choices, it was a good nice feature. Hopefully Pocket gets something like it at some point. Especially when, like, your opponent's not making any choices on your turn, they should just let you undo something like that didn't have any RNG components. Registeel looks worse than Heatran on paper. I actually don't think it's much worse than Heatran on paper. And when you combine it with the fact that Leaf lets you pivot it out of the active, it matters a lot. Man, normally we don't mind playing against a Drudagon lead, but not having Manaphy and starting Palkia. We've started on our one Palkia so many times this set, it's really frustrating. It's really, really absurd how many times... Like, not only are we starting on the one Palkia, but we've been starting on the one Palkia while simultaneously not having an additional basic in our hand. Because we're a 7 basic deck, right? Well, like, sure, sometimes you're going to start on the one Palkia. A lot of our Palkia hands should just also have another basic with 1 retreat cost in it. Thanks, Misty. Unironically, I'm just going to use Misty as Leaf here. Would you allow undoing an energy if there are secondary effects like damage or healing? Yeah, probably. So long as it doesn't, like, actually change the game state in a way that has variance in it, it seems fine. You could also lock it, though, if you have an effect like that happen. I think either approach is reasonable. When I talk about things like that, like, edge cases could be edge cases, right? People like to have discussions like that, be like, oh, there's an edge case, so that means you shouldn't do it. It's like, well, you could just have an exception for the rare edge cases, right? Yeah, you would have it like, if attaching an energy to a Darkrai caused a KO, the undo function wouldn't be an option anymore. Stuff like that. Oh, you know, with Gyarados being 180, I should power the Palkia, so that way, I can Palkia chunk this and then Blastoise finishes it, yeah? I think is the game plan here. I wasn't thinking about the Gyarados breakpoints, but I should have been. So the game plan here is get Palkia to to 4. And then next turn we put Palkia up and we chunk this and chunk this. So if they put this up, Blastoise finishes it. Yeah, I think them not going after our Manaphy was probably a mistake with the Greninja. With them having the Greninja as quick as they did, they should have gone after this for sure. There is one copy of Cyrus in my 3 cards here. Let's see if they realize their mistake and start hitting the Manaphy. Should we overpower Blastoise in case Gyarados strips it? Yeah, probably. Alright, 50% to win the game next turn. Although I suppose at the same time, if they have a Cyrus, they also get us. Usually they have one Cyrus as well. I think it's going to come down to who has their Cyrus first. this smells like Cyrus and we're dead. Ernie, but enjoying the streams and the YouTube videos. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with the new cards. Thank you. Appreciate the 2 months. The card games change, but the gamers waiting till the last possible second to play their card that deterministically wins the game remains the same. Opponent misidentifying where their thing should go to start there, but the fact that they misidentifying where their Greninja Shuriken should have gone, but the fact that our Cyrus was buried in the bottom 2 and theirs was not means they win the game. Their Gyarados opponent. Something in the water this morning. Well, now I wish I would have let on Squirtle. BM stands for bad manners. They didn't leap out, speaking of. Misty's never hit heads in her life before, chat. Why would she start today? Oh, you know what? Maybe I was supposed to spend the energy to retreat this and tap this for 20. Because marking 20 on this would have meant I could Cyrus it back up, and it would have put it into 160 HP as Gyarados, which means Blastoise could clear it in 1. Wait, what? X-Speed. X-Speed. We win this race, yeah? We go 40, we take nothing. We go 100, we take 140, they take 100. We can also high roll Misty here and win the game on the spot. Obviously. Sedge. Getting one hit there means Misty just goes pound for pound with their Sabrina. Just trade 1 for 1 on the supporters here, essentially. Yeah, Misty doing her best X-Speed impersonation here. But they have a keep or a potion. We're doing 100 and 100, so we're fine if they have extras here. And then them hitting their own energy instead of ours means they're just cleaned out if they don't have a Misty or another way to tempo us like a Sabrina next turn. Geared up and ready to hit for 160. One day I'll pull Blastoise. I mean, Blastoise is tradable, gamer. That's all I'm saying. I'm glad we got the Blastoise out of my system, but it's definitely not competitive in this metagame. I want to make it clear that when I say this, I'm not saying that the card is OP and I wouldn't change it even if I could, but do they not have a tool? Holy, there's a first time for everything. The existence of Skarmory in the metagame put a huge damper on my personal enjoyment of brewing in Pocket. And again, I really can't emphasize enough that I'm not saying that to say that it's busted or should change, but just like the dynamic and the breakpoints that it hits into the types of things you can play really make it feel like it constricted my ability to brew. There's just so many things. There's just like, well, I'm squeezed. Yeah, it's eggs. Eggs is another one. The cards that put really aggressive pressure on quickly narrow the brewing space by a lot. You know, I wonder if I was supposed to have the other Manaphy out over this Articuno. Me playing this out on one was wrong. That being said, this opponent bricking a tool probably means we're fine and they're dead, yeah? We got our boy Blue right away. Oh, we are through all 7 basics, aren't we? LOL. Captain America and Madam Web are bugged in Marvel Snap right now. You should be able to move both. You can't. I don't know when it's gonna get fixed, but it's acknowledged that that's a bug. All right, Misty, let's close out strong, girl, huh? I'm actually not attacking here because if I hit them and I take a hit back, it means that I die to Melmetal because they have cape. And they have second Rocky Helmet plus Melmetal. We're probably just scuffed either way. Hitting heads on the Misty would have won the game on the spot. That being said, if they don't have the Melmetal, they have to back out here, yeah? It's a weird place to put the energy. Okay, opponent has given up while being unlucky, it would seem. Either that or they just don't understand how Blastoise works, which is possible. Blastoise doesn't see a ton of play. Blastoise essentially having a third attack that you can't copy is real reasonable. All right. I'll throw the Blastoise deck up on stream for people that want to snag my preferred build of it. I do like these 20 cards. We're going to play something else when we get back from the ad break. I'm not sure what, but definitely more Pocket. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Don't go anywhere. Subscribers, I feel like I deserve a sweet treat this morning, so I'm going to go run and grab some of my advanced to mix up and drink. So I'll be right back. I realized the other day when I was updating my lifting maxes in my spreadsheet that if I can lose another 5 pounds or bench another 5 pounds consistently, I can say I benched my body weight, which seems like a good goal to have. So we're gonna try and do a mixture of both and say we bench more than myself. Yes, previous opponent should have retreated to a single knockout point Pokemon, giving themselves another turn to draw Melmetal. Should have been their line. What do we want to play? What do we want to play? I had this in my editor. I kind of wanted to try it. Shaman Mismagius. Mismagius is one of my favorites. Dark Energy Farfetch'd. Probably a Darkrai behind the duck, yeah. How do you feel about playing around a copy of Darkrai Dawn? I think it's correct. Okay. Saying there's a chance. And then we need a potion here as well, obviously. Keep our hedge dog alive. Hockey helmet. BTY-ish, thank you for the 54 months. Welcome back, appreciate it. Okay, and there's a Misdreavus. Okay, put on a Confuse Ray. Technically die to a Dawn, but I think if they have something that aggressive, we can't really play around it anyways. So we'll just go next. Them having first energy advantage. It's pretty tough here. I think we just have to hope that they don't have part of it. Fine. We'll play the game. We'll play the game, I suppose. It's actually a pretty big mistake from the opponent. Them not having the Dawn. They weren't thinking about the Shaman sealing this back to full. So we've assembled the Voltron Ghost here. Got a cape. It's got 2 flower dogs behind it. You're confused. Yeah, they actually just missed that that the Shamans was gonna heal him back off. Should have put the energy on and cracked us for 50, obviously. Never underestimate the flower power. Skarmory with first energy advantage is a tough nut to crack, gamers. Yeah, I think this is fine. I'm gonna hold on. We have a Pokemon communication in our deck, so I want to chill on this for now, in case we top deck that. Oh my goodness, a second person in a row who doesn't have a Poketool? It's like Christmas. It's like Christmas. Don't know what to do with my hands. And a second flower dog? Oh, that's so exciting. And we just go ahead and hit him with the old Confuse right here. I don't know if I want this last bench slot to be an Azulf to poke at their bench or another Misdreavus yet, so I'm gonna wait to make that decision. Looking for a ghost in a hat. It's not a ghost in a hat, gamers. Heatran, please come to the front of the class. And now at this point, I'm going to commit this last bench slot here, just so I can spread my energy out. We've got 2 Ghosts and Hats and 1 Communication and 7 cards here. This is 66% to be a Ghost and a Hat. There is 1 Azelf in our deck this could turn into in addition to those. Unlucky. Scarm Zone. Okay. They probably have evolutions for this waiting, if I would venture a guess. Rip. Them winning their 50%er after we lose our 66%er is pretty unfortunate. This is the only other Pokemon in my deck, so might as well play it out. If the new set doesn't fix Infernape, I'll be very sad. By fix, do you mean like make competitively viable? Alright, and bricking that one is obviously very good for us. Poor Ghostat. Has nowhere. No one to make lovely. What if I Azelf the Magneton? Is that crazy? Call me, baby. And if they don't evolve it next turn, I can yank it up with Cyrus. You would never murder my hedgehog, Heatran, would you? That would just be rude. Don't do it. Have a heart. Have a heart, Heatran. Mercy, mercy on the hedgehog. If they hit the heads on this flip here, it means we're dead to the second Sabrina next turn, which they often play. God, Confusion is so good. It's actually wild to me how many people are down on Confusion. It's such a powerful effect. The fact that you don't use it up after you hit heads is so good. It doesn't just go away guaranteed. Hey, Kai Fighter, thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. Appreciate the direct support. And then this thing, dealing 20 to itself means that I can use Azelf to finish it next turn. And then with potions and hedgehogs here, we get this out of Skarmory range. I don't even need to use the potion, yeah? Because we're out of Giovanni range. It's a shame my my second cape is literally the last card of my deck. But that's fine. I think they're dead. Oh, do they have a line to checkmate me still because I don't have my other cape? So they kill the Azolf? If they have, yeah, I think we're actually checkmated still here. So the Magnezone plus, the Magnezone plus Sabrina is lethal next turn. Actually, I don't even need the Magnezone, I just need Sabrina. And they're gonna have their whole deck in their hands. Man, that's such a tilter. Oh, actually, did they even need it? Because I can only get to 110 here, right? So we were cooked either way. Yeah, I couldn't get this out of Magnezone range either way. That was close. McLovin, thank you for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This build's probably bad, yeah. Forget, did I ever play games with this one on stream? I did. Why not Cyrus up the zone and hit with Confusion? Cyrus only pulls up things that have damage marked on them. It's a relatively well-balanced card. No, it was a full health dork on their bench. So you lost a 66%er, followed by them winning a coin flip, and then the cape was the last card in your deck, and you lost by 10? Yeah, exactly that, Marty. It was close despite the variance. I actually think the idea that Eevee's better than Vulpix in the Magnezone style deck is very, very incorrect. Kai Fighter. There were a number of games we played with the Ninetales Magnezone deck where Vulpix using Tail Whip to buy you a turn 50% of the time was super relevant. Will we not be getting a meta report this week? There's nothing to report. People are confused about that, so maybe I'll post a short video in the future, but like, the metagame literally just didn't change in the tournament setting. I also think this is one of those weeks where, or metagames, it's truly strange to me how different the random queue is from what's doing well inside of tournaments. Like, no joke, my anecdote is I don't think I've played against the stock Good Executor deck in the last 20 or 30 hours I've streamed the random queue in Pokemon Pocket. And it's like 20 to 30% of the bigger tournaments that are being played and having success. Is this going to be it? Are we going to queue into it right now? Now that I say it, it's going to be the first time. But it's truly, truly wild how few people are playing it. I'm playing a lot of Pocket. I just don't play into it at all. Do I play around them flipping 3 heads in a row? Yeah, I think I can afford to. I do this. Just let them, if they hit 2 heads, they can knock this out. Yeah, maybe the experience in the 45. So the 45 win queue, I stopped playing because you hit a lot of people in it, or at least I was anecdotally, who were just auto-retreating their games because they're helping people get their wins. So it was making for bad stream content to be in that queue, and like half to a third of the time I queued up, my opponent just left the game. We had a day where I had a bunch of retreats in a row, and I was like, all right, well, we get way less of that in the regular queue. That feels good, assuredly. Thank you, Dusknor. Appreciate your service, lad. Yeah, the opponent's gonna have to win a lot of coins to deal damage to us here. That being said, if they have Ericas, they're gonna have a lot of chances. And when they do eventually deal some damages, we're gonna have Dusky Boys to pull the damage off, so. Okay. I've talked about this before, but anecdotally, Celebi players seem to disproportionately still play red card. Which I think makes sense from a theory perspective, because red card's basically just a giant coin flip to disrupt your opponent. If you're playing Celebi, you're into coin flips, yeah? Waiting for opponent to return. Do you think their thing flipped tails and then they closed the app? And then it just didn't send it to the client? Was that what occurred here? This is about to time out and then hit tails? That's my called shot. It's about to time out and then hit tails. Classic red card gamer, really. Can you knock out a Dusknor with its ability? Yes, so not only can you knock out a Dusknor with its ability, but a Dusknor on 30 HP or even 10 HP would heal this thing to full. So the Misdreavus can get down to like 10, and then Dusknor can knock itself out to heal it back up to max. Yeah, that was definitely a sodium-induced disconnect. I feel like if you're gonna get salty about coins, Celebi is really not an appropriate deck for you to be playing. Like you are not built to handle the output range of that deck if you're gonna be bitter about hitting 2 tails in a row. Is your opinion on Dusknor changed in the last 2 weeks? Nah, card's probably bad. We're just at the point in the metagame where playing the good things isn't particularly interesting. That's why, something I've mentioned before, I'm excited we're getting new cards on Friday, but the real test for Pokemon Pocket's longevity, especially in terms of content sustainability in my eyes, is going to be this 8-week gap we're going to have after this card pack drops on Friday, and when new cards drop for A3 8 weeks later. Like six weeks is a pretty good cycle. 8 weeks is a long time. Yeah, and God forbid if the metagame ends up being a little bit scuffed during those 8 weeks. Like, I don't know that Pocket would have a healthy base of people interested in playing it if it was the current metagame for 8 weeks. I'm glad we're getting new cards in this metagame after 4 weeks. Part of me almost wonders if... Part of me almost wonders if something they should consider is... If they're gonna do 4 packs per 12 weeks, I wonder if doing a rate of like... It's a great draw. I wonder if doing a rate of like 1 pack per 3 weeks... I'll be curious to see if they experiment with different release cycles. I've been enjoying playing Skarmory Steel variants. I mean, that's the key to any metagame, regardless of what it is, right? Is like if you have a deck or decks you enjoy. It's just from a content perspective, grinding one deck isn't a successful way to produce content, generally speaking. Which is why I said from a longevity content perspective, what do numbers look like? Which, Twitch has actually been relatively stable in terms of viewer count, but like, as someone who keeps his finger on the pulse of looking at my own content and other people's, numbers on deck highlights especially are pretty down right now across the board for a lot of people. In the Pocket space. And this is 3 weeks into an expansion, so it'll be curious to see, okay, what do those numbers look like 6 and 7 weeks while we're waiting for an 8-week card release. I think we're cooked, gamers. I needed our stage 1 here, right? If I had our stage 1, we could evolve this and heal this to full and clear this, and then live a hit and then heal again. I guess this is technically aligned to not be dead on board. Hey, Walter, thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. I appreciate that direct support. And then actually, this is my line, yeah? I pull this up and then we clear it. Did you experience those types of swings during the Magic era? So the Magic era had set release highs and then lows like any card game is typical. But one of the things that gave Magic a unique bit of longevity that a game like Pocket won't have for a long time is that Magic's deep card pool did a lot of heavy lifting for it. Because Magic has lots of ways to play their game. So like in Magic the Gathering, when you're tired of standard constructed, you could play modern. or Pioneer, or Explorer, or Legacy, or Vintage. Or you could draft. You could play a limited format. I have a lot of thoughts on the varying quality of, like, Magic's actual core rules 30 years later. Like, I think a lot of other games have better core rules at this point. But one of the biggest strengths of Magic as a game has always been they've wholly and fully embraced there's lots of ways to play our game, and you can pick and choose how to play the game. They do a good job of letting the player dictate the experience they want as opposed to dictating the experience they're supposed to have. For people who are new here, I know we've got a lot of people that found my content through Pokemon or through Marvel Snap. Magic the Gathering is where I hit full-time content status. I actually had enough viewers and subs or whatever and metrics to achieve full-time status even before Magic Arena released. I was making Magic the Gathering online content during the age of the dinosaurs. Tap the routes here. Lucian. Our baby. And now I'll tap Mewtwo for 20, so that way Misdreavus clears it in 2. And then notable here that Misdreavus with Cape actually lives the side drive, so even if they hit their heads, we'll be in an alright spot. This game's kinda highlighting how much Cape hurt Mewtwo as a card. So I get to put this up, I get to put a 160 HP thing here, and then even if my opponent hits heads and hits me for 150, my Dusknoir actually heals this fully back up. So they need to both hit heads and have a Giovanni here to have a shot. Well, heads and Giovanni would win the game on the spot, speaking of. But otherwise, they are pretty cooked. And we have Cyrus in hand here to chase this down if they try and retreat it out. They're going for it. Swing and a miss. And again, even if they'd hit it there, the Dusknoir was kind of just waiting in the wings, ready to shrug the damage right off for us. Turning the damage they deal to my EX into single knockout points is definitely the strength this card provides. Dusknoir's ability to be too strong on a stage 1 card. Yeah, probably. It would definitely be busted on a basic. I guess it would depend on how much HP that basic had. But even any amount would probably be good. Just because you could pull everything off and kill it while healing to full. They are healing this thing for 40 a turn is notable. I do have a second Cyrus in my deck. Do I actually? Actually, this build with the Dustor, I think I only have room for one Cyrus. I'm not actually sure we're going to be able to get through this thing healing as much as it does. I believe I'm out of basics, yeah. So we hit them to 40, and then they go to 80, and then they go to 10, and then they go to 50. We need to avoid them finding the other Krillia here. It's real bad for us. Hopefully they just bottomed to research. Wait, really? Gamer. Gamer. Alright, well, this was gonna be challenging, but I think they were definitely supposed to leave that in there. Come to Papa. Papa would like to let you know it was delusional to think you could survive here. Hey, Red Link, yeah, the Ninetales Magnezone deck is a ton of fun. It's gonna be the highlight today on the YouTube channel after we're done with the Pocket Live segment. That was really sweet yesterday. All right, I'm gonna play some more of this. Misdreavus is definitely my pet card this season, and Dustor is kind of sweet with her. I want to go ahead and tap an ad roll. We'll be back in 120 seconds with some more spooky ghosts. Thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching on the YouTube side, consider tap the like button on the live stream. Got about 500 viewers over there and only 278 button pressers so far. I could probably pump that up a little bit. I started following more Pokemon people on social media for people that are doing Pocket stuff. And there's a lot of people that overlap Pocket with like TCG Live. So I got a post on my feed with a bunch of people lamenting conspiracy theories about how the shuffler was rigged in Pokemon TCG Live because they kept getting unlucky with the cards that it was prizing for them. It's just like, good golly, the card game's changed, but the gamers asserting that the shuffler is rigged against them eternally remains the same. What's the more likely outcome? You were a little bit unlucky, or the entire shuffling mechanic is rigged against you? Definitely rigged every time. Yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see what the comments look like on the Ninetales Magnezone deck. I assume I'm just gonna ban a bunch of people being negative again. When I posted the Mewtwo Magnezone deck as the first one, there were a lot of hostile people in the comments complaining. My life is short. We stomp out that kind of negativity. My YouTube videos aren't that popular anyways. I don't need rage bait engagement. Elite Azelfir. Gamer. Is likely to be a baby ghost, yes. Hopefully not this baby ghost. Dang it, Bobby. You had one job, gamer. Although, maybe I'm supposed to tap the coughing twice, because if I hit this twice, Misdreavus cleans it in one, yeah? It's probably the play. Although, without the baby ghost on one here, I'd assume we're probably cooked with the type advantage. I'm coming back to zone people. I'll play some of that, the Yanmega deck. Losing to Weezing makes me want to deal 120 to people. Truth's Advocate. Thanks for advocating in Hoaglandia for 16 months. Appreciate the almost a year and a half of support. Good morning, good morning. Open Magnemite, especially with a second in hand. Very specific thing that brought you back to Snap again recently. It's just been 2 months since I played Pokemon. Pokemon Pocket's at a low point in its content cycle, so I wanted to give it a try again. And then we played and it was fun. I also think the new game mode Marvel Snap has coming out today is exactly what I've been asking for in that game for a long time. I'm excited to see how it plays out. We were actually talking a second ago about how one of Magic the Gathering's greatest strengths is its varieties of ways to play the game. And that's something I think these other newer games like Pocket and Snap don't appreciate enough of early on. So I really hope Snap's new game mode is well received and it gets adequate support, and it's something that we see on the regular. I'm posting my schedule on a week-to-week 12-ounce skill. On weeks where there's more of one thing and less of another, we'll do. Depends on what's going on in the games. So like Snap has a new game mode coming out today, so we're gonna do all Snap tomorrow. But then Pocket has new card packs coming out Friday, so we're gonna do all Pocket Friday. And then when there's kind of similar amounts of things going on in each, we'll split the time. I didn't post my schedule on just the Nazi app, and if you're only following me on the Nazi app, you're part of the problem. I would love to no longer be on the Nazi app, but too many of you people refuse to move to other reasonable places. So please, help me leave the Nazi app, follow me on Blue Sky, join the Discord server. Actually post more stuff on Blue Sky these days than the Nazi app. I sent a reply to someone on the Nazi app the other day, and after I hit send, it gave me a pop-up telling me that if I wanted more people to see my reply, I should subscribe to Premium. And it's just like obviously, I'm no fan of the YouTube algorithm, and I'll complain about that periodically, but like, at the very least, at least the YouTube algorithm isn't picking the winners and losers based on who's paying it more money. Like, it's just such an absurd idea that you would manage a social media platform that way. And for people who aren't familiar with me, my Twitter account was created in 2007. It's 17 and a half years old. So past Musk being a Nazi and me having philosophical problems with that, his political affiliations aside, it's hard to put into words how much meaningfully worse Twitter has gotten with him making decisions at the helm. It is atrociously bad in comparison to what it was in years past. Oh my gosh, Circle Circuit kills my Manaphy. My poor Manaphy. I think we're cooked, gamers. Opponent had first energy advantage and our draw was kind of limp to start. Saying there's a chance. If they don't have a Cyrus, the Magneton draw here might mean we have a shot. Maybe if they probably also have a Magnezone and then we're cooked either way. Yeah, I like this build, Nicholas. It'll be this morning's highlight after we're done with the pocket stream is going to be Ninetales Magnezone, and then this one will be tomorrow, I think. And then we'll have new card packs for the next day. What is first energy advantage? Something I've never had in my life? Something I've never had in my life. Baby, don't hurt me no more. I wholly and fully understand people just wanting less social media in your life. I don't think... I don't think I would have created a Blue Sky if I wasn't eventually hoping it could replace Twitter for advertisers. Unfortunately, one of the primary things most advertisers ask is, okay, will you also promote on your Instagram or TikTok or Twitter? In addition to YouTube or Twitch for sponsored contracts. I've just been happier with the live stream chats in subscriber only / member only mode. It turns out people are a lot less willing to be hostile and obnoxious if they have to pay $1 in order to be hostile and obnoxious. So there's a lot less of me feeling like chat is argumentative or harassing when it's a little bit restricted. So I don't know that I envision making the chats open again. I'm still responding to comments on the YouTube videos and on places like Blue Sky, the people that show up in my mentions, so people that can't afford to support can still interact with me if they want to in positive ways. But there were a couple of days, Thursday after we came back, Thursday after I came back from my vacation, it felt like chat was on one, and we locked it up a little bit, and it's been happier since. Grundle returns. Thank you for the third of a year. Welcome back. Speaking of how social media works. Does it hurt your earnings? It's hard to measure. Nicholas, thank you for upgrading to the top tier on the YouTube site. Thinking of memberships. That's incredibly generous of you. On the Twitch side, at least, it nets more subscribers a lot of the time when chat's in sub-only mode, but it hurts follower growth a little bit. There's a lot of people that won't stick around to check out a stream if the chat's in sub-only mode. But I've also, like, have enough numbers that, like, getting more subs is better than... Getting more subs is better than, what's it called? So... And honestly, at the end of the day, it's not really about revenue. It's about how I feel while playing and doing my job. And my conclusion has been I feel happier with it a little bit more restricted, so that's probably the correct choice to make. Life's short, chat. Choose to be happy whenever possible. Harding, thank you for the 7 months. Appreciate it. Yeah, that too, right? It's not like it's a mode that I'm locked into for an eternity, right? Like, if we hit a point where numbers are down, which means there's gonna be less people, I can always open the chats back up. But like even today, like right now is a pretty low point, like we've been talking about in Pocket Cycle. There's 1,200 people between the two chats. And it's also, and this is probably the more important metric too, like, the YouTube chat's kind of dead, because, like, YouTube just doesn't have a culture where many people pay to support. But, like, we have more than enough comments on the Twitch chat side to, like, me sit here and have a regular conversation and have engagement past just talking about the games, right? Lemons with the C, thank you for the 25 months. And Harding, thank you for the 7. So it's not like there's a lack of engagement because of it either. It's interesting too because for what it's worth, Twitch doesn't let me dictate what memberships cost, but on the YouTube side, if you're someone that's like, ugh, my Jeff experience is ruined, I can't chat with him, there is a 99-cent $1 membership option over there. It's 1/6 the price of the cheapest membership on the Twitch side. Because again, it's really not about making $1 million or thinking I'm gonna get a bunch of money from subscriptions. It's really just about increasing my quality of life. There's a Manaphy. We also don't have first energy advantage again. What is that? Never heard of it. Rigged. It's rigged against us, gamers. Incredibly unfair. The player at the top of the screen always gets the first energy. Oh, is that what it is? That makes sense. Well, like one of your finest X speeds, please, deck. That could still be an X speed, yes. Heyo, heyo. That's fine. We'll take them having first energy advantage if we draw my X speed and they flip double tails. Fair's fair, gamers. Get charging my cards here in a few different ways. And then honestly, with that X speed hit, they could even hit double heads next turn. I think this game is over. Is kind of the strength of this deck. With our copy of Dawn and Yanmega here ready to go, we're gonna start cracking for 120 points of damage next turn. We are not gonna have time to get set up to get around that, I don't think. I'm having vivid flashbacks on why I no longer play Kangaskhan. Much memory, such wow. It's the dawning of the age of Yanmega. Age of Yanmega. Do 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 do. And Zapdos. Oh, I was about to say Zapdos EX here cooks perfectly against Magnezone, but alas, they have the thing. Jeff, I'm culturally ignorant. What is that song? Your versions get stuck in my head. That is Age of Aquarius. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Do 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 do. It's from Hair, the musical. Yeah, believe it or not, I was a theater kid growing up. To the shock of few. Oh my goodness, this gamer needs to play a different deck, chat. They are not remotely qualified to play the deck they have registered. That is, whoo, there is a Reddit post getting typed up as we speak. I recorded all my coin flips, and at one point, I had 8 in a row that flipped tails. It's statistically impossible. Yep. What are the odds of 8 tails in a row? It's 0.5 raised to the 8. It's 0.4%, so it happens 1 in 200. A little less likely than 1 in 200. 1 in 225. Hey, Mary, thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. Appreciate that. Blevin, thanks for the raid. We had a good stream. Saw you rocking some Bizarre. I should have been holding down B for their coin flips. LOL. LOL. I am doing swell. Hey, check out the Bazaar at some point. Hopefully they have their mobile release eventually. All of my off-stream gaming time is done either on my PlayStation 5 or my cell phone for the most part, so things that are PC only usually don't get into my rotation. I believe the Bazaar is free to play. That sounds right. I've watched a little bit of it, but I haven't played any. Hey Jeff, I'm still rocking the standing desk. Unironically, best quality of life improvement you can give yourself as an office worker. Your bones were not intended to sit stationary all day, gamers. Treat yourself. Guardian Magnet. I'm not sure I want to play Manaphy out here. I'm gonna chill on it for a turn. You have to buy into the Bizarre beta at the moment. Yeah, I knew that. That was one of the other reasons I hadn't poked at it yet. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to do some type of freebie model when they have their full launch. Samurai Sam, thanks for that brand new primer. There's a ton of great people making stuff on Twitch you can send that to every month. Thanks for sending it this way. If their last card is at X speed, we could be in trouble. But if we get to pick a knockout up here, I think we'll be in an alright spot. First point would be a solid deal for us. We just get Yanmega charging up here now, yeah? Oh, you're fine, Blevins. We've been having kind of a chill day. Pocket's at a little bit of a lull, so I've been doing the kind of typical streamer thing. I'm kind of just pushing buttons while talking with chat rather than talking about the gameplay. We have some strategy here and there, but for the most part, we're just BSing. I think part of the problem with Empoleon, we started playing Blastoise today, and I think Manaphy, and I say this as I'm playing another Manaphy deck, I'm realizing, a lot of the Manaphy decks in general are in kind of a tough spot with how much Skarmory there is. This deck's saving grace is that it usually needs one Manaphy activation to, like, dawn and start attacking. So I think it's one of the better Manaphy things you can be doing. Do I pivot the Palkia out here? I think I pivot the Palkia out here. I think I'm gonna Volt Charge. Well, So the problem with pivoting the Palkia out is if I pivot the Palkia out and move into the Magna Zone, this is going to take my energy for the rest of the game, and then I'm never going to have energy to build anything else up. I think it's just we do this and stay the course. I'm gonna crack them for 30, and then Magna Zone can finish next turn. And the Magna Zone will take a hit from Misdreavus, then we'll put Yanmega up and crack them. I think is our permutation here. Speaking of talking about gameplay. Hey, Ramos, thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. Appreciate that. Good afternoon, or good morning, I suppose. Still 10:30 here in the cornfields. Okay, so put this up. Charge it. We'll put an energy here. We'll put a Magna Zone here. There's a Misdreavus in the back, so this could definitely come down to confusion flips. I think we're in an okay-ish spot. I suppose if they have a Cyrus lurking, they're hitting us for 70 and then could pull us back up. I recently went on a streak of 20 out of 21 Kanga flips. That's brutal. I think my record for Kanga bricks was I hit 9 in a row at one point. I started counting at like 5. And it ended on 9. Are there room for capes? There just aren't. That's kind of the problem with a lot of these. The problem with a lot of these Manaphy decks is you're just like, there's so many cards you're trying to play is you just can't fit capes and everything else you're doing. And like this build needs 2 copies of Dawn on top of the rest of it. We are actually dead to the second Togekiss here, yeah? Also dead to the Cyrus. Yeah, GG opponent. Close game. We had awkwardness. It's really unfortunate. The number of times, I feel like I need to go back and check from the start of the stream, but this is our second 7 basic 1 Palkia deck, and the number of Palkia starts we've had in our 7 basic 1 Palkia decks is really brutal. Why can't this silly dino show up with a second basic more often? It's 15:30 here in PT. Is PT Portugal? I am an ignorant American bad at references outside of the US. Am I looking forward to the new expansion? I am hoping that the new expansion, I think my 3 big hopes from the new expansion are a card that lets you counter Cyrus, a card that lets you counter healing, and a card that makes 2-color energy more consistent. Or the 3 things you're like, Jeff, what are design space things you would like to see in the new cards? I think those are my big 3. All right, we have a good hand this time, but we are missing first energy advantage. It's noteworthy. A little bit off topic. Do you think you'll play the Pokemon Auto Chess when it comes to Global? Absolutely. Like, Pokemon Auto Chess looks sweet, but it does not look sweet enough for me to fumble through trying to use a language that I'm not familiar with. I'm Portuguese, and PT typically refers to Portugal. Pokemon Auto Chess. Yeah, there's a Pokemon Auto Chess inside of the Pokemon Unite MOBA client right now for their China build. And if you install the China build, you could actually play it if you could muck your way through the language. But yeah, if that gets a global release, we'll definitely check it out on stream. But like, the Pokemon IP almost feels like it was tailor-made for an auto battler. Because, like, you know, you get 3 of a Charmander and it turns into a Charmeleon, right? Yes, auto chess is like teamfight tactics. Any specific Pokemon you'd like to see in this set? I hope we get an EX Dragon Pokemon or 2. It's the last type that's missing it. All right, sweet. You ready to get blasted, gamers? And this is again exactly what this deck is looking to do. We have our copy of Dawn. We get to go ahead and retreat this Manaphy back to the Yanmega, and then starting on the second turn, we get blasted for 120. Any idea what a Cyrus counter would look like? So there's 2 different ways they could create a Cyrus counter. One of them is they could have more powerful healing effects, which is scary given Executor. Another way is there's designs in paper Pokemon that prevent you from... there are designs in paper Pokemon that prevent you from targeting bench Pokemon through Pokemon abilities. Yeah, I agree. That seems like the most likely design approach they would have. A supporter that stops your opponent from using supporters the next turn. I feel like that would be pretty limited in application. But yeah, that's a potential design as well. You've hit me down to 10? Question mark? Just crack you for 120 here. You can take your 2 points. I guess if they have a Cyrus, after they take 2 points on the Yanmega, they can Cyrus the Manaphy as a liability. They could have a tool that when you attach it to the active, it makes that active slot unmovable. Yeah, that's a fun design. I think a Pokemon tool is actually a good design for fixing energy variants too. Like they could make a dragon tool that says like this Pokemon uses energy as though they were energy of any color. You could even have it so it only works for dragons. Rip. Speaking of Cyrus. right, I think we need to take a brief pause for the cause, let some adverts roll. But I think when we get back, we're gonna play some more of this. This was really sweet yesterday. It's a Ninetales Magdazone Blaine deck. Because Magdazone complements Ninetales really well, because you can start blasting with Ninetales early while building up Zone in the back as your secondary attacker is sweet. So, I'm going to tap an advert. I'm going to run to the restroom. We'll be back in 120 seconds with some of this. Appreciate everybody here for some Pokemon Pocket this morning. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday wherever you're at in the world. 3 days till new cards, 2 days till Pokemon Day. If you're watching on the YouTube side, consider tapping the like button on the live stream. Appreciate the folks that have done that. Speaking of standing desks, if you do pick one up, my #1 piece of advice is make sure you set a timer of some sort so you remember to use it. Because like any piece of exercise equipment, it's going to do you literally no good if you don't actually make sure to engage it periodically. My job has a wonderful built-in timer where I just try and remember to change positions or what I'm doing, pedaling, standing, sitting, every time we tap an ad break every 40 minutes. I had a lot of fun with Garchomp for a bit, but then hit a streak of not being able to power up Garchomp cards and deleted it. Mood. We've all been there. We've all been there. In fact, I was just thinking I want to play a little bit more of this, but our next deck after this one, I might close out on some Garchomp Greninja. The baby fox. I'm gonna play the baby fox, but we need to put a cape on it because these Skarmory decks are often Sabrina decks, so we need to insulate the pup from getting metal armed next turn. Nice. Okay, so we're hoping to find another Magnemite here. This is something that happens a lot when you play these one knockout point decks. Essentially, you just punt your first lead Pokemon to kind of take back the first energy advantage. What do I mean by this? I mean, they're going to get a point for knocking this out, but they're not going to get any energy for it. And then we're going to knock out their thing that has the energy on it on the backswing. So we'll be 1 point to 1 point, but we'll be up tempo because we took an energy off their board with our point, whereas they did not. Although this deck kind of muddles that concept a little because Ninetales discards energy every time she attacks. I don't have a standing desk, but I work in corporate America, so I just stand up and not do everything for a bit now and then. Yeah. Yeah, the company that I worked at after grad school had a large campus, so a lot of my days there, I'd get my work done in the morning, and then I'd put my earbuds in and go take a walk around. If you run into anybody, you're just in between meetings. Kills you too fast. I appreciate the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. Our opponent DC'd. That's sad. Our draw was really good. We were gonna get Ninetales, clear this, and have Magneton building up. We'd have Blaine to clear this one in the back, even if they hit the cape. I'm not gonna wait for them to time out, though. No, it looks like it's there, Medicus. It says it's there on the Jeff Hoagland page. I'm still not sure exactly how and when I want to publish deck highlights on that channel. When we're doing Snap in the afternoon, I'm testing doing them in the morning, but yesterday's morning upload performed pretty bad. How's that one doing? If it's also performing bad, I'll probably move back to posting them after in the evenings. That one's performing okay. It's probably fine. Yesterday must have been a fluke. I always take the free win. I just play enough games that, like, not only do I play enough games here throughout the course of the day, but I also am maxed out on experience. So waiting here for the 15 seconds for the 15 XP is just a waste of everybody's time. Do you expect some rebuilding of that channel after the 2-month break? Yeah, all of the videos I've uploaded since coming back on the Jeff Hoagland channel have performed worse than the videos were before I left. But as you said, that's kind of just the expectation. I'm going fishing for a Vulpix here. I've noticed with the Snap highlights, you don't put a blurb before the gameplay like you do for Pocket. Is there any reason for that? Yeah, there's no editing at all on the Snap gameplay. It's literally just a raw, straight cut from the live stream. We actually have them cooked here, yeah? We do this into this, and this cracks them for 130, and then Ninetales is gonna finish them next turn. Yeah, putting an intro at the start, honestly, is one of those things where, like, it's like, I could do it, but doing it actually doesn't translate to any more views. In fact, one of the things I've been kind of going back and forth on the Pocket side is, like, how much effort I want to continue putting into Pocket highlights. Because I think there is a chance I could put a whole lot less work into it, and it would still just get the same amount of views as they do now. Which is, like, unfortunate, but it's like, how much work do we want to put in if there's not really a return for the work? And then with this Blaine here, we're just ready to get our last knockout point next turn, regardless of what they put up. Yeah, Blaine cooks the bowl here. What are my account's battle record stats? You know, I haven't looked in a minute. I think we're around 1,500 last I checked. Take a peekaboo after this. His deck list feels so trim. It was really good when we played it yesterday, too. Ninetales Magnezone is just such a good 1-2 punch. Having such heavy hitters that are all one knockout point is so potent. Yes, what is our account stats? How many Schwinge do we have? That's fine. I need to check my Wonder Picks here, too. Battle record. 1,900 wins. Coming up on 2,000. Hashtag meaningless metrics. What's the difference in terms of deck slots when you're looking at 2 Blaines versus 1 Cynthia in their respective decks? Well, Blaine's powering up things that take less deck slots, right? So in Cynthia decks, the cards Cynthia is powering up are stage 2, so those take 6 slots in and of themselves. Whereas Blaine is powering up things that are basic or stage 1, so those only take like 4 deck slots. So is a big difference between the two. So you have more space to play more Blaines inside of your Blaine decks. Is it worth running this deck with only 1 Magnezone? How many pack points are you sitting on that you haven't crafted the second one yet? Should definitely be the next thing you spend them on. Your wins are meaningless without ranked mode. How else would we establish your dominance? That's true. Accurate. I do throw total wins in the title sometimes, because I think that's one of those meaningless metrics that people that don't know better care about. It's like win streaks. It's like this is meaningless, but people that don't know any better think it's relevant. They have both the energies for their Chomp, gamers. All right, let's charge our lasers up here, huh? If they don't have another bench, we can Sabrina up the Chomp and blast it next turn. Been trying to hold on to my crafting points until we know if we can trade SmackDown. Yeah, it's probably smart. I don't know if my body is fully ready for people to find out they're not going to be able to trade Space-Time SmackDown on Friday. I think it's going to be a little insufferable. Already typing up a Reddit post about how unfair it is. Fair, honestly. Did you encounter any meaningful viewer changes this year after going to sub-only mode? Nah, not really. I got some nasty grams in my DMs from people who are mad they couldn't chat, but a fun factoid is that in a stream my size, on average, only about 10% of the people watching the stream actually chat. So for most people, chat being in sub-only mode is a non-factor. It does not impact their experience. I would actually argue chat being in sub-only mode improves the experience of lurkers unless they're explicitly looking for me to end up fighting with people who are saying silly things in chat. Which, to be fair, that probably describes some amount of people. They're interested in watching me fight with people. It's funny. One of the DMs I got the other day after we switched to sub and member only mode was they were letting me know I wasn't cut out for making content full time, and I probably won't be doing this for very long. And for people who are new, I've been at this full time for 7 years. Over 7 years, almost 7.5. We've been around the block. Penix, thank you for the 17 months. Welcome back. We'll burn this Rotom to the ground. This really showcased some of the strength of this deck, right? We just have 3 different Pokemon that are all single knockout points and hit for large amounts of damages. So in short, you won't be able to retire as a full-time streamer. I'll be kind of surprised if I'm still doing this when I retire. Retiring something I'll get to do someday, right? That's an option on the table for millennials. Listen, not to toot my own horn, but last year was one of my best years ever, and I did fully fund a 401k contribution for a single year. That's enough to retire, right? One time? I did it once. I did it 1 year. That's all I need to do. Yeah, it's not a 402k, it's a 401k. That is some excellent low-hanging fruit there. We are going to vibe on playing the other Vulpix out here, so that way we can communicate it into a Ninetales if need be. Does your LLC do a 401k match? Well, the match is also my money, gamers, so it's kind of all the same. In fact, a significant part of why I set up the LLC was so you could have a 401k at all, because you need a business to have one of those, so. Hoaglandia LLC exists in large part because I wanted to have a retirement account. One cooked duck, please. We know absolutely nothing about Friday's expansion. We technically don't even know that there's going to be an expansion on Friday officially. I should make that more clear. It is purely a data mined and speculation that there's an expansion coming at all on Friday. I'm assuming we're gonna get confirmation of it Thursday with the Pokemon Day announcements, but again, that's also speculation. To be political, talking about retirement savings for a minute, one of my conversations I had with a boomer relative that really made me realize just how little people understand the systems that they engage with was they had a comment complaining about how the government was spending all of their social security money so their social security money wouldn't be there for them when they were ready to retire. And it was just like, dear Lord, your social security money is supposed to pay for the generation before you to live on. And then my money pays for you, and then my children paying in pays for me, which is one of the many reasons why we should invest money in early childhood education, because it's important that we have people in society after us to help support us down the line. Just at a fundamental level, just had no idea how the system that they work with works. And you gotta leaf the Froakie out so it doesn't get cooked by the Magnemite. I think we're turning a Ninetales in here. We'd like to get a Vulpix or a Magneton here. Alright, I mean, that's not, like, the ideal one, but, you know. It's better than bricking, I suppose. Look at our little baby Magneton, chat. Charge it up, and it gets bigger. Think we're dead. This is one of the downsides of playing a deck like this with only 4 basics is there's just a lot of games like this where you just end up bricking off. We really needed a Ninetales building in the back to have a shot into the Darkrai, because Ninetales plus Cape would have let us clean this out, but now we hit this and then this finishes us, then we've got nowhere left to go. know that I necessarily wish Pocket would give us full set previews in advance, but I do wish they'd at least communicate what their intended release schedule is. Like, I feel like the fact that we don't know a card pack is coming officially until a day before or a couple days before is, like, too little notice. I think it's fine if they want to keep, like, the actual cards that are coming in them under wraps. But, like, at least let us know what to expect. I would love to charge my battery lasers here. It's probably because they don't want you to hoard hourglass. I mean, the way the free-to-play economy is structured, you kind of get exactly enough to get to the right bits at the right time, yeah? Now, interesting about the way Vulpix is templated here is Vulpix stops them straight up from attacking. So if we hit heads here, we deny them the oceanic gift, which would actually be a pretty big deal. I think I want to put a cape on Vulpix, because that way we don't die to a War Turtle crack next turn if we hit on Tail Whip and they retreat out. Because we're weak to Schwatter. Never won a coin flip in my life, gamers. Why would I start today? I think we're actually okay here. Because we cook Manaphy, and then even if they have Blastoise, again, just all of our heavy hitters are one knockout point. So we clear this, and then they clear Ninetales with Blastoise, and then Magnezone cracks them for 130, and then even without another Magnezone, this Magneton finishes with weakness and gets us our last points we need, yeah? Misty doesn't really matter unless they're going to be building up another EX hitter in the back. I think they need War Turtle into another Blastoise to have a real shot here. And they needed this Blastoise too. Without this Blastoise, they wouldn't be clearing the Ninetales. So Magnezone goes down here because they can do 160, but without the War Turtle in the back, I don't think this matters, right? Because, like, this is dealing 80, so they would need Cape plus Potion to not be dead to this, and I could draw Magnezone even if they have those two things. We got 1 point from cooking the Manaphy on turn 3. Yeah. Actually just dead. About 2 hours off with the new Marvel Snap game mode drop-in. That sounds fun. Got a video reviewing that ready to go on the Snap channel. Goodness. What is the first energy advantage, chat? Never heard of that. Couldn't be me sitting here wondering. Leading on Mars Shadow, that's definitely not the droid they're looking for. Okay, research. So you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do-do-do-do-do. Speed in my future? There is not. Cool. I am caping full picks, so that way it does not die to a 50-point hit from Cranidos here. Whip it good. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Tail whip. Do-do-do-do-do. There's the Cranidos we played around. We're so smart, gamers. We are so smart. SMRT. I need to hit Magneton next turn. We're gonna be in a little bit of trouble. Excuse me? I'm sorry. What? Well, I was thinking we could never beat a Rampardos. But if you want to let me... If you want to let me make your stage 1 well done, we take those. They get to knock me out on the backswing with the Mars Shadow, but that sounds a-okay to me. Is Marvel Snap good for new players? Yes and no. So I think Marvel Snap's onboarding experience is really good. But one of the places and things that they're supposed to be reworking by the summer is that it's difficult in Marvel Snap's current economy to get specific cards. So if you're someone that likes building and playing your own decks, it's pretty good onboarding. It'll teach you the gameplay and you can play through and ladder up and stuff like that. But the experience for you want to like look at decks that I play and copy them quickly and directly is tough right now. I think with the Magneton draw, we're probably done here. We have Ninetales to cook the Hitmonlee, and then even after they Mars Shadow the Ninetales, we have Magnezone to clean out their last one. Or don't mind spending a lot in the game. That's not even true though, Tron. Part of Marvel Snap's economy issues are that even if you have, you know, a couple $100 to spend, you can't just spend a couple $100 and advance your collection to get a bunch of specific cards. There's no pay to play path or free to play path to get to a specific deck. I don't really think it's super interesting to talk about rebalancing cards in Pokemon Pocket, because I don't think that's something they're ever going to do. Boot, if you're watching on PC, you should make sure you grab a thing that lets you auto-claim shillings. It's a big leg up. Clicking that extra bonus box consistently. All right, we need to take a pause for the cause and let some adverts roll. We're gonna do one more segment of Pocket Me Things before we kick along to Snap for the afternoon. We are going to, I think we're gonna put Chomp Greninja back together since it was one of my favorite decks to play this season. So I'm gonna get that constructed here and we'll play some Greninja Garchomp when we return. Thanks everybody for hanging out, don't go anywhere. If you're watching on the YouTube side, consider tap the like button on the live stream. We're getting close to 500 likes this morning. I bet we can get there before we're done with Pocket. Appreciate the 423 folks that pressed the button already. This fighting build was... So do I want to play Greninja Garchomp or do I want to play the fighting build some more? Maybe I lied. Maybe I'm just going to play the fighting build. Look, I'm looking at this and realizing I like the fighting build more, I think. You know, one thing I wanted to try. I'm gonna try a Spirit Tomb over the, what's it called? Oh, I have a flare for this one now. That's exciting. Let's go flare this bad Mama Jamma. I mean, for what it's worth, Tron, when it comes to the end game economy, I think Marvel Snap, not even think, Marvel Snap is objectively cheaper than Pokemon Pocket to get every single card right when it releases. It's not free. You don't get every card for free. It's like somewhere in like the 80 to 100 bucks a month range to have everything, but it's very, very comparable to Pocket. Whereas Pocket, to have everything when the card packs drop, is like in the $70 to $100 range, which at 4 packs per 12 weeks is a little more than 100 bucks a month or so. I don't know. I'm looking forward to whatever they cook up to adjust the Snap economy. Yeah, the new game mode had a preview in the monthly update for Marvel Snap, and I'll have a video reviewing it on the Snap channel a little bit more in detail with some extra info once the game mode is live. Celebi, speaking of shillionaires, be sure to tag me in the Discord server to get access to Beverly Shills. And trickle-down economy stays in action. You'll now only need to spend 999,762 shillings, to become Hoaglandia's next shillionaire. So for those of you just joining us for the break, I changed my mind. We're going to play the Fighting Chomp build some more. I was looking at it and realized I liked it more than Greninja, I think. Hop on the bike for this next segment. A little bit more pedaling in before lunch, eh? Going first. I mean, if there's a fighting energy under this water, going first with the full Chomp line is really strong. Fire Energy Drudagon. Interesting. I'm gonna hold on to Farfetch for now because there's a chance we end up churning through it with Reckless Shearing. Woozy, thank you for the 2 years of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Or they're a Dragonite deck that forgot to turn off Fire Energy. Some hot dragon on dragon action. Not putting Cape on Drudagon is an interesting choice against my deck that deals 100. Oh, my only weakness. 2-color energy variants. That's nice. I was a little concerned they were going to charge this up when I missed my energy here. Our dragon draws cards, chat. It is the superior dragon. Chomp charged up here, ideally. Eight cards left in my deck. They are 2 research, a communication, and a Gabite. We really want to start working towards the next chompers in here. If they don't hit Dragonair this turn, this game should be done. Cooked. Fully cooked, the opponent is. Throw this Chomp back, digging for our stage 1 here. Noise. Dragonair hits for 80. I guess if they have Dragonair, this Cape technically lets them live a turn. And then maybe they could high roll us in some permutation. I can also shear into my Cynthia to beat the Dragonair with the Cape, though, too. Garchomp has asserted dominance as the... Oh, I forgot to click the thanks button. Sorry, opponent. Garchomp has asserted dominance as the superior dragon Pokemon. Low bar, but it clears it. There's fighting energy underneath this. Curving Gnaw into Slash is quite good. It's the year of the Eevee for Pokemon stuff, right? So like assuredly we're going to get a new Eevee spoiled, yes? They have to, legally obligated. I believe they're legally obligated to give us a new Eevee. I'm gonna gnaw this despite the Rocky helmet. Because one, Shaman heals some of this off, but two, if this evolves into Magneton, I want to be able to clear it still with the Slash. Now I can't kill this for fear of Magnezonia. Okay. So we have Chomperson. We're ready to shear. Got a little research. Lovely. I think we're trying to communicate this into the other one. Yeah, that one. Oh, that's interesting. I think that's game winning for us, yeah? Because of Cynthia? They obviously wanted to stop us before we got to the next Garchomp, but I think because we have a way to clean this out here now. They're conceding to the Cynthia? That's such a wild line to take if your plan is to leave when I'm gonna Cynthia you. There's like 4 cards left in my deck, gamer. So, we were talking about this in the Discord server last night, but one thing I'm a little bit concerned about when it comes to Pocket, and we're going to see how this develops, obviously, but one thing I have weighing in the back of my mind is that there's a chance that the Executor dominance at the tournament level is just going to continue with the next set, and that Dina also doesn't really have a reason to care because there's not really many people playing eggs in the random queues in the client, right? So hopefully they would care, but I also think there's a real chance they just don't have a strong incentive to give a whatever. Say we to flood the random queue with eggs, something like that. We have our NRGs. We need a stage 1. They have their stage 1 is the question. Gosh, I have the Cynthia. If we would have had the stage 1, we could have cleared their Melmetal in one. Sedge. Yep. This break here means we're done. I needed communicate one of our. We had 12 cards in our deck. There were 2 stage 1s, 2 researches, and 2 communications. So we're a 50% there and missed. Eggs used to be so cheap it was reasonable to throw them at the houses of your enemies. Oof. Oof. Oh my goodness, chat. I appear to have made some of the regular Pokemon TCG community mad on the Nazi app. Because I had the audacity to tell them the shuffler wasn't rigged. Schwackums, thank you for the 14 months. Or there was some post to some big content creator complaining the shuffler was rigged against them. Hit my timeline. So I made a generic, the card games change, but the gamers thinking the shuffler is rigged against them remains eternally the same comment. I don't know if my body is ready to never generate another water energy again, but I'm pretty sure the first one's supposed to go on Farfetch'd here. I'm not a programmer, but I feel like rigging the shuffler is way harder than just programming an actual shuffler. That is factually correct. Wholly accurate. Hit another water energy here. Actually perfect, gamers. Want more people to see your reply? Subscribe to Premium to have your replies boosted. Why do actual human beings use this platform? I get paid for it, so like I have an excuse. But like what real human sees this and is like, yes, this is a social media site that I want to use. This is a well-designed good system. Sign me up. I'll have more of whatever they're having. This opponent is Holy Cooked Gamers. Oh yeah, and there's Cynthia to make sure they're cooked next turn. Get to hit him with the claw, and then Cynthia finishes him. Oh yeah, I had to double check too, just because I assumed I knew the answer, but I didn't remember. The person who posted the shuffler is rigged conspiracy theory absolutely pays for Twitter. I was like pretty sure that was the case, but I didn't recall specifically. But just to validate that tracks, yeah. Give him the claw! I always win way too much with this deck, chat, and convince myself that it's reasonable when we play it. This archetype does spike tournaments on occasion. Gosh, if we get some type of way... If we get some type of way to fix two-color energy variants, Garchomp's gonna be really good. Like it's literally the hinging is just do your energy works and does your energy work in most of these games. And when it hits, it just hits so solid. Then I go and play it and have 4 water energies in a row. Mood. Not bad. It's been a fun morning. Thanks for the red card. Hope it was fun for you. I am not Ben. I've been out of that space for a really long time. What is a first energy advantage? Baby, don't hurt me. I lead duck here. Hello? You know what I think is the #1 quality of life improvement I would like to see in this app? And it's a really simple one that I think can hopefully happen at some point. Why on God's green earth is the waiting for opponent text not displayed like here in this open space rather than blocking their bench, their hand, their match points, and their next energy they have coming up? Even putting it in the center of the board where those notifications pop up would be less disruptive than where it currently appears. Great, we have first energy advantage, we have first evolution advantage, and we have the Chomp ready to go. So if they evolve and kill this, we'll clear them on the back crack and we'll be done here. The best possible thing they could do for us here is clear Farfetch'd. All right, we're done here. And these are the games where this card just feels so powerful. It's such a good going first card when you hit like, it's just so many moving pieces to have to hit, right? You need your energy and your stage 2. But man, when it comes together, boy golly, does it come together. We've got Dami Mommy here, ready to clear Mew next turn. Of all the Mismagius decks you've played, what's the most reasonable? The one I spiked that tournament with is probably the most reasonable. Farfetch'd and Azelf give you a lot of maneuverability. The only thing I'm uncertain of in those 20 cards is whether or not the Mew is worth playing. I lean towards it probably is, but you could also cut it for another utility card I think could be fine. Yeah, this card is due. So like Dragonite's a card that'll be less bad if we get a way to fix 2-color energy. I still don't think it'll be top tier. Garchomp's a card we get a way to make 2-color energies more consistent. I think it's going to be a top tier deck. It's so powerful when you get to actually attack. Because even at stage 1, right? Like at stage 1 with first energy advantage, hitting for 60 for 2 is like really solid. What are you planning to run in Sanctum? Something low to the ground seems like the way to start. One of the, let's call it interesting things to note about Sanctum Sanctorum is they banned a lot of the clog cards, but they did not ban White Widow. So White Widow Red Guardian is... you will not be able to win turn 3 in Sanctum. Yeah, White Widow Armor and White Widow Red Guardian is where I want to start. And actually, it's funny, one of the decks I played during my climb back to Infinite was a White Widow Armor Red Guardian deck, so I think I might start on that when we play the game mode today. Actually, for the sake of not getting in trouble, it might be redacted that you can't win on turn 3. Hold. Hold, please. Delete the VOD! Delete the VOD! This is one of those games where Spirit Tube is much worse than Hitmonlee, obviously. I think I want to hit the Magikarp. Is my sequence to win this game. Especially with the Cyrus Straw. We'll retreat bidding the fighting energy because we have another one of those coming up guaranteed. I think I shear the Mars Shadow rather than the Farfetch because I might want to be able to deal 40 in a pinch for a colorless. Rolling Disasters, the name of my ska cover band. Alright, cool. And then Cyrus here means they're cooked. I probably should have Cyrused first, just in case they wanted to concede when I do it. There's a chance they do. Keep the Garchomp away for our Gabite here is guaranteed, I believe. Like taking game actions, chap. Boy golly, let me tell you, do I have a deck for you to play here. We shear, and we have flower gardens. We Pokemon communicate. If you like clicking buttons, this deck gives you some buttons. The mix of Shaman, Potion, Cape really just gives you so much sustain. Mommy's home. The claw. Gamer, I have 2 points. I have 2 points, gamer. Okay. Opponent also a fan of clicking buttons and taking game actions. Yeah. All right, we're gonna kick on over to Marvel Sappin for the after. I like to go out on a high note, and that was a fun one. It's getting close to noon anyways. Their new game mode drops in about an hour, and there are new Twitch drops going on. And unironically, this set of Twitch drops is the most generous set of Twitch drops they've ever done for Snap. Can you show the deck list? That deck list was featured on the YouTube channel. You should check that out on the Hooglandia Pocket side. I swapped a Hitmonlee for a Spirit Tomb, but other than that, it was card for card the same. The drops are not live now. The drops start at the top of the hour when the game mode goes live. All right, we need to take an ad break while we do that. If you're looking for more Pocket stuff from me, I'm going to turn that off, to turn off the Pocket live stream and fire up on the Jeff Hoagland channel. There will be a Pocket deck highlight with the Magnezone Ninetales going up in a moment.